this is Megan from Project Rise Fitness. And in this video, I'm going to go through 4 stretches to help open, loosen, and stretch the lower back. A lot of times, low back discomfort comes from spending extended periods of time in a seated position or continually, maybe at work, compressing the hip flexors. So all 4 poses are intended to lengthen and stretch the muscles not only in the lower back, but also on either side, so in the hamstrings and hips and upper mid back. So the first pose is going to be child's pose. So come to a mat, bring your big toes to touch at the back of the mat, and then sit your hips back over your heels, letting your elbows come to the mat, let your forehead recline here as well. And you'll notice in this pose, lengthening in the lumbar spine. And that's really what we're after. So while you're sitting here, think about relaxing your belly into your thighs, breathing deeply. On your inhale, let your belly and lungs expand into your legs. And as you exhale, try to get a little heavier, more relaxed on the mat. Think about continually letting your hips sink closer to your heels. Again, just creating length and softness in the muscles of the low back. You can stay there for about 5 to 8 deep breaths, or longer if it feels good. Alternatively, you can also bring your knees really wide and then assume the same pose with space for your belly to expand in towards the floor, which is also relaxing. It's a deeper stretch for the low back, but that's what we're after. Next, you're going to come to the middle of your mat, sitting on the ground. Recline all the way back onto your back, feet flat on the floor, and then bring your left ankle to the top of your right thigh. So here, from another angle, you've made a figure 4. And option A is to sit just like this, breathing, trying to gently relax this knee away from your torso. You might already feel a stretch there, in which case stay here and breathe. Or you can lift this right foot up off the floor, take your hand through the figure 4, interlace your fingers behind your thigh to intensify the stretch in the left hip. Here again, the work is not to create such an intense stretch that you have to bear down or wince or find any kind of discomfort, but actually try to go right to that edge where you're feeling some kind of constructive lengthening and opening, but you're still able to breathe through it, keeping the muscles in the face relaxed. After doing the first side, release your foot to the floor and switch. Right to left, breathing here, noticing the difference maybe between the right and the left sides. And then if it feels appropriate, lift that left foot up off the floor, interlace your fingers behind your thigh, and pull the figure 4 closer ever so slightly to your chest. Think about keeping the neck long. Let the back of your head rest on the floor. And of course, there's this intense stretch happening here in my right hip, but I want to make sure that I'm breathing fully, very intentionally staying relaxed everywhere else, not letting the stress or tension get caught in my face, my jaw, my hands. And after an even amount of time on this side, I'm going to lower both feet to the floor, and I'm actually going to stay reclined on my back. And we're going to take a gentle twist. Operative word here is gentle. So I'm going to let both knees fall to the right, and naturally my left shoulder starts to follow. So the work here is to try to relax this shoulder back towards the floor as I breathe, lengthening this left side of my lower back. Staying here for about 5 deep breaths. If when you start to twist, you find that your knees are having to hold themselves in place, feel free to grab a pillow, a throw pillow, and give your knees something to land on. This therefore allows that low back to actually relax instead of being stretched under tension while it's also trying to hold the legs up in space. Keep your eyes on the ceiling. If it's helpful, you can take this left hand and drape it towards the floor. But then once we've lengthened the side, slide the right hand under the knees and press your knees back to center with your arms, trying to avoid immediately activating the muscles that we just lengthened. Then of course, second side, knees are going to twist to the left. And I'm going to work with every exhale to melt my right shoulder blade into the ground. Again, as challenging as it may feel to breathe deeply in a twist, that is the work. And we'll hang out here for about 5 deep breaths. To come out, take your left hand, press the knees back to center. And then it feels nice sometimes to rock and roll up the length of your spine. A little self-massage, all the way back up to seated. The final pose we're going to visit is called caterpillar. And this is an intense stretch of the mid and lower back. So it looks like many different things depending on how your body moves and how your body feels. So legs are going to be extended. If it's challenging for your hamstrings to straighten your legs and let your knee pits rest on the floor, by all means, bend your knees slightly, take the tension off of those hamstrings. Again, we're targeting the mid to lower back and not the hamstrings right now. Anchor your sitting bones down into the ground. Lift your heart, draw your shoulder blades together behind you, and then you're going to start to fold forward, resting wherever you land. So it's not so much about folding myself in half. What I want to avoid is this. This isn't accomplishing much. It's actually reinforcing a posture that we spend kind of a lot of time in, eating, driving, type thing. So again, draw your shoulder blades together, back and down, and then start to hinge forward and let your hands support you wherever you land. This is a yin yoga pose, and so you can spend a longer length of time here. But if you choose to do that, again, bring your pillow, your prop, and give yourself something to relax into, something to support you as you breathe deeply. Just letting these muscles in the lower back lengthen, relax, and release. Think about breathing into those muscles that feel the tightest in this stretch. Softening a little more with every exhale. And as I mentioned, since this is a yin yoga pose, if it works well for you to stay a little bit longer, 15 to 20 deep breaths, go for it. Or after 5, bring your hands to either side of your hips, press your chest up, again, not activating the muscles we just lengthened. Prop out of the way. Draw your legs in, using your arms. And enjoy the benefits of some focused time spent lengthening, opening, and relaxing the lower back. I hope this is helpful for you. Thanks for tuning in. Namaste.